And I'm Larry Elder. I thought Bibi Netanyahu hit it out of the park.
We are no longer scattered among the nations, powerless to defend ourselves. We've restored our sovereignty in our ancient home. And the soldiers who defend our home have boundless courage. For the first time in 100 generations, we, the Jewish people, can defend ourselves. This is why, as Prime Minister of Israel, I can promise you one more thing. Even if Israel has to stand alone, Israel will stand. But I know that Israel does not stand alone. I know that America stands with Israel. I know that you stand with Israel. You stand with Israel because you know that the story of Israel is not only the story of the Jewish people, but of the human spirit that refuses again and again to succumb to history's horrors. Facing me, right up there in the gallery, overlooking all of us in this august chamber, is the image of Moses. Moses led our people from slavery to the gates of the Promised Land. And before the people of Israel entered the land of Israel, Moses gave us a message that has steeled our resolve for thousands of years. I leave you with his message today. Chizku v'imtzu, al tiru ve'al ta'artzu mipnehem. Be strong and resolute, neither fear nor dread them. My friends, may Israel and America always stand together, strong and resolute. May we neither fear nor dread the challenges ahead. May we face the future with confidence, strength, and hope. May God bless the state of Israel, and may God bless the United States of America.
That's how he ended the speech. We'll play you other excerpts as we go through the show. The number is 310-933-5555. Yesterday, I was talking about, with a caller, I believe, about the profound ignorance that many Americans, especially those on the left, and especially black Americans, the profound ignorance that they have about the Palestinian-Israeli struggle and about the history of that area. And that, I think, drives much of the hostility towards the Israelis, towards Jews that I'm finding on the part of the left. And the anti-Semitic rate within the black community is 3 times the anti-Semitic rate in the non-black Gentile community. 12% of Americans, according to the ADL, could be called anti-Semitic. However, 36% or so of blacks could be called anti-Semitic. And in the Democratic Party, only 12% of Democrats consider Bibi Netanyahu to be an effective leader. I have, obviously, a number of black friends, and I must tell you, it is really, really stunning to me how frequently I encounter very well-educated, very sophisticated people who don't know jack about that conflict, but yet believe the Palestinians have been wronged and believe that the Israelis are dominating in an unfair way. And when I ask them how, what they normally end up talking about are images that they see. Little Palestinian kids with rocks throwing them at tanks. And they just see the unfairness in that. And then when we go back and I unravel the history, and I find how profoundly ignorant they are, it is striking to me how you can passionately hold a position and yet be so profoundly ignorant about the facts and the conditions that you should know before you take your position. Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? And all these biblical movies that we've seen showing how the Roman Empire tried to subjugate Judea, Israel, and how resistant the easternmost province was. And then after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Ottomans took over that part of the world. You know Mark Twain, the writer? You know how he made most of his money? He made most of his money writing travel books, because travel was rare in those days, of course. So if you were able to travel somewhere and you could write about what you saw, people paid for that. He made more money off travel books than he made off his regular books. The travel books, of course, don't sell now, but the regular books do. And he traveled to this area of Palestine, and he wrote about it, and said there was just weeds and desolation. There were people living there, and Jews were living there, and Arabs were living there. But more and more Jews began to move there, late 1800s, early 1900s, purchasing the land from legitimate owners, Ottoman owners. They didn't steal it, purchased it. And when the Ottoman Empire fell after World War I, and that became a British mandate, that whole area, the British made simultaneous promises to the Arabs and to the Jews that there would be a homeland. And while the British held that area known as Palestine under a British mandate, the head of Jerusalem was named Haji al-Husseini. He was a pro-Nazi aficionado. He even raised a division of Arabs to fight on behalf of Adolf Hitler, whom he admired. This is while the British were, right before, the British took this over. And after World War I is over, it becomes a British mandate. And the British were frequently trying to prevent Jews from moving there, because they knew eventually there'd be a state, and the more Jews there were, the more territory Jews could